Hello children, today I am going to start new chapter in social science history, that is chapter number 2, journey from primitive man to Saturn life. Yes, in previous session already we discussed about different historical sources like inscription. Here we study about a new chapter, but before this chapter it's a quick recap of our previous chapter. In this chapter, we learn about different historical sources like Bhojpatra, Tadpatra, different inscription. What is meant by inscription? In ancient time, people they are using different hard for writing. For example, stone inscription, metal inscription, copper plates, coin, some historical sources. Yes. Now, in this chapter, here we study about primitive man, means how they live. They live a nomadic life. So here, with the one example they show you in our textbook with Jaivir. Jaivir is a boy and his family were going from Gandhinagar to Jamnagar in train. So sitting near the window he saw trees, bullock carts, camel carts, rickshaw, bus, tractor, etc. And he asked his uncle, yes, generally this is a curiosity. So students like you, they are asking their parents about different questions. So, when did this transportation start? His uncle put his hand on his back and said, train started in our country approximately 150 years ago. Yes, on 16th of April 1853, the first passenger train ran between Mumbai to Thane. Yeah, a distance of 34 kilometers. So, among all the vehicles which you are seeing on road, the bullock cart is oldest one. Yes, when we discover wheel, after the discovery of wheel, human developed the different vehicles like bullock cart, camel cart, horse cart. So before it, thousands of years back, man didn't have any means of transportation. So he used to go from one place to another place by walk. So here, so first of all we discuss about primitive man and nomadic life. Yes. So primitive man means very old people. Approximately 20 lakh years. Years ago, primitive man he led a nomadic life. Nomadic life means he hunted animals. He went one place to another place by walk and spent his time by hunting. Yes. He hunted animals like deer, fish, then different kinds of animals. Here we discuss about the different stages. The stages of human is called as a hunter and gatherers. Yes, he used to gather his food by hunting different animals like deer, sheep, bird, fishes. Other than this, they collected roots and fruits as well as seeds for their surrounding area and they eat this food. Okay, so it was not that easy like nowadays. Sometimes wild animals attack on them. Moreover, some of animals were fast in running, so it was not easy for primitive man to catch them. So that's why they are facing lot of problems, lot of difficulties that time. Thus, primitive man used to wander from one place to another place in search of food. Thus, he learned which fruit and roots to eat and which not to eat because many of them were very poisonous, and that's why he learned from his daily activity. He learned which foods are very poisonous and very harmful for them. Animals like deer, sheep, goat, cow were easy to hunt. So primitive man used to wander from one place to another place in search of food. So moreover, water being essential for life, they used to settle near the sources of water, means near the bank of river. Here they settled down. A second point, which is the places of human habitation, means where they live. Habitation of primitive man in India. If we talk about India, in India generally primitive man, they are using They are living in a cave. So our archaeologists, our historians and anthropologists who study about our past, who study about our history, have together find out many places of human habitation, of primitive man. Along with it, they have also find out information about some implementation. Implements means some tools used by primitive man. So here we discuss about primitive man. They use implements and weapons made up of stone and wood generally, which things they find from the forest area. So easily they get stone, easily they get wood, and sometimes what happens? Sometimes they use some implement which is made up of bones. Yes, so when they hunted animal, they are using bones for hunting animal. Okay, so since the life of hunter-gatherer and wanderers are associated with stone technology, this period is called as the Paleolithic period, means the Stone Age. So here in our textbook also they show you some pictures related to this. So some stone tools were used to cut vegetables and to scrap the skin of animals, means to remove the animal skin. Primitive man used the peel of a tree and skin of an animal to cover his body. Yes, as a cloth. They are using leather. They are using leaves of a tree or a skin of a tree. Here, children, I will show you the map of Stone Age human habitation in India. In this map, this is the map of Indian, some important ancient places. In this map, below part, they show you one box is there. In this box, they show you different places. Through these places, we learn about human habitation. So look carefully at the places marked in the map. So first sign, which is a red triangle, which indicate about Paleolithic place. So here in the central part of India, for example, Bhimbetka cave, which is situated in Madhya Pradesh, and in the southern part there is a Karnool cave. Okay. Then second, green square, which indicate you about Neolithic place. For example, in northern India, there is a Burj home, which is the best example of Neolithic place, as well as in the central part there is a Mahagarh. Then our third place, which is a Chalcolithic place, which indicate you with a circle. So this red circle indicate you the Chalcolithic place. For example, in Pakistan there is a Mehergarh, which is the best example of Chalcolithic place. Then in Gujarat there is a Langhanaj. Our fourth point, which is the initial village, which indicate you with a diamond shape, purple diamond shape. So Inamgaon in Maharashtra, which is the best example of initial villages, as well as our last point, which indicates with a modern city with a symbol of star, blue star. For example, Kolkata and Mumbai with a star, which indicate with the modern cities of India. So through this map, we learn about different places. If we talk about rivers, so here in central part of India, there is a Narmada river, as well as in the northern part there is a Ganga river, which indicate about the water bodies. Here many people they settle down near the bank of river. So through this map we learn about the Stone Age, the human habitation in India. So through the map, here we find some places where primitive man lived. So they prefer to stay in a good and large places where stone, wood and water were found. They live in a natural caves to protect themselves from the fire, rain and from the wildlife. So several such places have been found in Vindhyas mountain in central India. So such type of places have been found in the region of Narmada river. Yeah, in our map already I have shown you the river like Narmada and Ganga. So Bhimbetka has been found, which was an excellent place of human habitation. In the cave, near around 500 images of birds, deer, wooden we find here drawn by the primitive man have been found from the Britannica, which are drawn with the help of natural colors. Yes, they develop some natural colors. Our next point is the discovery of fire and wind and their uses. Yes, so ruins of ashes found in the caves of the primitive man in Karnal, in South India. Yes, already I will show you Karnal cave, which is in South India, which indicate that they were familiar with the fire. Yes, with the help of ruins of ashes, we find some evidences of ashes and we come to know that they are familiar with fire. As per historians, approximately 11,000 years ago, humans started using fire. The use of fire had revolutionized their lives because now they learn with the help of fire. Now they started cooking. They cook meat and eat different grilled things. They get light and protect themselves from the wild animals. Yes. After that, if we talk about the discovery of wind. Other than fire, wind also revolutionized their lives. They learned to make wind, and from this, the tree trunk, and they use thick wood, and they develop woolen cart, camel cart, and horse cart also. After that, we discuss about changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, what happened? There was a widespread change in the atmosphere of the world. Yes, which kind of changes? So, due to increase in the temperature and vegetation, and grass field started growing in the many areas of the world. As a result, what happened? The number of grass-eating animals, the herbivorous animals like deer, sheep, goat, etc. increased. So primitive man certainly got benefit of it. So they started studying this animals' behavior, and then their mental development started. So they came into contact with grass, trees, vegetation, as well as they started growing wheat and barley and other grains due to climate changes. So here we observe that many changes are held in their life. So by using stone, wood and man and children, they collected grain. Because of this curious instinct, now slowly agriculture started in India. So here people started using stone to grow grains. They are using stone tools. They started growing grains near the bank of river and constructed their house, which is made up of mud, thatch and other materials which is found in nearby areas. As a result, their nomadic life came to an end and they started settled life. So here we find many examples. Gradually they started adjust with them, with the environment. This sometimes they saw some animals, they learned different things from the animal behavior. They are associated with animal husbandry and also they have started farming. However, research is being carried out to find out how long he had been using animal to get milk also. So slowly and gradually he started farming, cattle rearing, as well as he learned lot of things. Here we discuss about settled life. Settled life through the food, shelter and clothing. So one by one we will discuss about the primitive man's life. Early life and pastoral activity transform primitive man's life into settled life. Now he live in a kacha houses, he grow food through the agriculture. So we know that agriculture land cannot be left out because it takes some time to grow for crops. So it need water and crops have to be harvested when grains are ready. And now he lived near the bank of river and they started farming. This process led to the beginning of settled life in India. Before, here we study about the nomadic life. What is meant by nomadic life? They are wandering from place to place in search of food. But now, through the agriculture, they live settled life. He also started making earthen pots for
storing grains. As the wandering life came to an end, there was a widespread change in their food habit. In earlier time, they eat only meat, they hunted animal. Then now they eat fish, they eat fruits, they search some root of animals. Okay. So in this way, now he cooked food with the discovery of fire. In earlier topic, we discussed about the discovery of fire. He cooked his food. He cooked food grains. In this way, he learned lot of techniques. Then he live in a kacha houses. So here they are using stone implements for farming purpose. Here I will show you one table. The following table shown the places of India. Different places of India. Here we discuss about these places. I will give you some few examples, but in our textbook they give you 6 examples, through which we come to know about grains, settlement, weapon and animals. So here I will give you some examples, some evidences with places. So one by one we will discuss about few examples. So our first example, where we find the evidences of wheat, barley, sheep, the bones of sheep, got stone implements. What is meant by implements? Means tools. So we find all these things in Mehergarh. Now it is in Pakistan. Our second example is rice, bones of animals. All these things, rice and bones of animal, we find in Koldivha, which is in Uttar Pradesh, in UP. Then our third example is a human settlement. Now they live in a pakka houses. This is the example. Here we find the bones of or the skeleton of rhino. Where we find this? We find in Langanaj in Gujarat state. Now our fourth example is a wheat lentil. In Gujarati we said it, lentil means masoor. And then pit houses, basement houses. So they live basement house in Burj Home and Gulf Krat, which is in Kashmir. So through the different example, we study about different evidences. So here we get information about their human settlement and cattle rearing. Yeah, with the help of agriculture. Now they started cattle rearing from the place like Burj Home, Gulfral, Mehergarh, Langanaj and Bhimbetka. Bhimbetka is a primitive cave which were discovered by our archaeologists. From places such as Mehergarh and Inamgaon, we even get information about the houses, about the different stone tools which they are using for farming purpose. They used to grow grains like wheat and barley. Yeah, first time from the Mehergarh we find the evidences of wheat and barley. Mehergarh may be considered as the oldest village of ancient time. You see Mehergarh in the map, already I will show you. Farming of barley and wheat started from here, and they reared sheep and got here, as well as they did farming. Through the farming, they store food grains in an earthen pot. Bones of animals have also been found here. So these are the best example of Mehergarh. They lived in a rectangular houses. This is a basic feature here. So small burns. What is meant by burns? Burns means a storehouse. They store all the things have also been found in their houses in Mehergarh. According to the evidences found in the Mehergarh, they honored the dead by burying them. Now here we find another thing which is a development of human burial site. We find burial site. Many such evidences have been found here. Evidences have been found at one place that God was also buried along with man. This suggests that their belief there is a life after the death also. So they believe that there is a life after the death. So in the same way, a place named Inamgaon, which is in Maharashtra, have been found in Maharashtra, from where remains of dead bodies of children have been found. And they lived in a round shaped houses. If we compare with the Mehergarh, there is a rectangular houses, and in Inamgaon you saw round houses are there. So they reared cattle rearing, they did cattle rearing, as well as they grow bajra with barley in Maharashtra. So through this chapter, we study about nomadic life of primitive man. Then we study about the discovery of fire and wheel. Then we study about settled life, how people with the changing environment, they live in a settled life. So through this chapter, we study about the different phases. I hope you understand this chapter. Thank you.